Hey guys, and welcome to the review of the Atari 2600. So this is the Atari 2600 Junior, which was released later on in the Atari's lifespan. It is probably one of the most notable consoles of all time, considering it was the one that more or less caused the crash of '83 in the gaming stock market. Well, not so much the console, but more so the games, preferably E.T., obviously. Everyone seems to blame that for that reason. So this is basically the PlayStation Slim or Xbox Slim of the Atari. It's very small, very compact, very diddy. I like it. It's got 4 switches. We've got on and off, we've got the TV colour black and white, we've got reset and select. What more do you need? Boom! And then we go to the 4-switch wood grain Atari model. Now, I do love this. This is a fantastic console, this one. I like this more than the Junior. And I like it more than the 6-switch one. Preferably this one, because I've had this one modified. Just check out that wood grain. That is beautiful. And then the beautiful Atari logo as well. That's almost just as beautiful as this wood grain. Again, we only have 4 switches on this one. We've got on-off, colour TV, black and white TV, game select, and game reset. And obviously the cartridge port. On the back, I've had this one modified. We have a new power system so it won't fail. And then I have this. I have the AV mod installed just here. So I don't have to keep rigging up the aerial cable. So I can tune this into my channels. But the Atari greatness does not stop here. As we go further back to the 6-switch model. But I only have the Sears Telegames version of this. But this has a really nice dark walnut wood grain. The Telegames was basically just a rebranded Atari 2600 that was released at Sears to help promote the Atari 2600. So if you see any Telegames cartridges, they are literally just Atari 2600 games, just rebranded to be sold as Telegames at Sears, effectively. I much prefer this nice dark wood grain that it has. It's got a nice little shiny video arcade. I think it's not a sticker. It's kind of recessed a little bit. It's kind of in there. It's really nice, very lovely. So much wood grain, so much swag this has. But hold the phone! You scream at me! How much do these things cost? They are relatively quite cheap. I'd recommend going for the Atari 2600 Junior if you're going to start collecting for an Atari, because they're newer, they'll probably last longer, they're probably a lot more reliable, and there's so many great games on them. But first we're going to have a look at the original controller, Atari 2600 joystick. 1 button, 1 joypad. What else do you need? Now I don't have my other Genesis controller to hand, but I have this one and this works fine in it also. I don't think you really need anything for an Atari, other than just those, really, for controller-wise anyway. Now, let's get into some of the games that I own. There is a lot of arcade titles. We have Centipede. We have Millipede. We have Pole Position. And I got this one for something like £2, Battle Zone. Now, with any game systems, you always find a clunker of a game. So we have Ghostbusters. We have Superman. Worse than Superman 64, I believe. We have Pac-Man. We have one of the greatest games of all time, obviously. We have E.T. the Extraterrestrial. So many great games. And then suddenly, there's more great games. We have Space Invaders. We have Ms. Pac-Man. Not the official Namco game, but we have Junior Pac-Man. I don't need to tell you how that game came about. We have Yar's Revenge. Fantastic game. We also have Super Mario Brothers. Yes, before he was I said Super. It's just called Mario Brothers. It's ruined my pun. I was going to say before he was Super, it was just Mario Brothers. So we have Mario and Luigi. That's a pretty good game. That's very enjoyable. I highly recommend this to anyone who buys an Atari 2600. We have Donkey Kong Jr. for the Atari 2600 VCS. I think this is a Coleco. Yeah, it is Coleco. And last but not least, we have Donkey Kong, original Donkey Kong. Damn fine games. Obviously, when you're searching for games for your Atari 2600, I highly recommend that you try and get them... Well, it depends how you want them. If you want them unboxed, they're a lot cheaper. But if you get them boxed, they're a bit more expensive. I only have 2 boxed games. I have Qbert. This is a very strange cartridge. This one looks like this. Very strange. Very strange. And I also have boxed, because I have 2 copies of it. 2. So, would I recommend buying an Atari 2600? On a scale of 1 to 10, yes. The Atari 2600 is definitely worth collecting for, especially if you're a massive fan of original arcade classics and arcade games. As you can tell by this massive pile of Atari gumph, it is worth collecting for. I highly recommend it to anyone. Anyone. Not unless you're one of these new wave gamers who can't stand 8-bit graphics and they're like, oh, the graphics aren't very good, it's not as good as an Xbox One or a PS4. Tell them to get out, because Atari is in. Now, oh, and don't mind me, I'm just going to go play some Qbert now. Just remember to comment, rate and subscribe, fist bump, and I'm going to see all you guys in the next video.
What could possibly go wrong?